Good way to start.
Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 22 of LDV30. I've got a friend today. This is Megan Power from Learning Unleashed, and I'll say hi, Megan.
Hi, Karen and everyone.
And I've invited Megan to have a chat with me today because we actually connected because of the challenge when I posted what I was doing. And Megan contacted me and told me some exciting stuff that she's been doing with video. For a project at work. So I thought it would be good for her to come and have a little chat, and I would post this as a video about video because I think it would be really useful for you guys to know. So over to you. Tell us about your project.
So the project I was doing, Karen, was with Petstock, and here's the brilliant reality of doing video at home. I knew I should have closed the door. Love you, Mama, but you need to go over there, darling. So doing a video with Petstock. Obviously, I love animals.
Mm-hmm.
And basically there was a new product, premium dog food that was launching into stores, brand new. No one had heard of it before. So we thought, how can we get that information, that product knowledge to the team members in store in a really quick and useful manner. And we'd been talking to an organisation called VidCorp for a few years, and basically what they do in a nutshell is have a video library of videos that you create, obviously, and you can then either email or SMS them out to recipients. Okay. And so we love the idea of being able to literally get the learning right in the learner's hands at the point of need. Okay. So we did a trial with them in terms of a 10-week program consisting of 2-minute videos, one a week, basically giving the history to the product, who the target market was, obviously the ingredients and all that sort of stuff. But where the real power was with this video tool was the diagnostics afterwards, because then you could actually go back later and see who'd seen the text message, who'd opened it, how many times they'd watched it, if they'd forwarded it on to someone, if they tried to post it on social media. So there was, from a L&D point of view, there was that engagement piece that we could actually see. You know, we can create videos and put them up on the training platform, and you can see if someone's clicked through and looked at it, but you really don't know, you know, much more than that.
Yeah, because it's high level of engagement then, isn't it? Sort of working out, it's quite different from somebody just viewing your video as opposed to then forwarding that to somebody else. Like that's a big lot of effort around a piece of content, particularly that's work related.
And the other good thing with the tool too was that there was a facility to underneath the video was a facility to have a question there. So multiple choice, short answer, or one week we actually had a PDF, which was like a ingredients information fact sheet that they could download from the link. So that gave us another little bit of information too in terms of checking their understanding of the video. And we could see also, you know, if they started watching the video and they dropped out at a certain point. So that's when we learnt that the old, you know, often people say, oh, keep your video no more than, 45 seconds to 90 seconds. Well, the fact is, if the content's on point for your audience, you can actually go longer than that. That said, we always tried to keep it under 2 minutes, but we saw consistent engagement up to, 85 to 95% of viewers stayed right till the end.
Right, that's actually quite significant. I mean, marketing people would be really happy with those stats. But I think particularly with learning, I mean, what do you sort of attribute that to? I mean, obviously the content being on point, but do you think the delivery medium, the fact that it was being SMS to people, like it more convenient than having to go look things up or be part of a training program per se?
Yeah, look, I think what we discovered was the biggest challenge was getting people to open that SMS in the first place.
So how did you do that?
We tried to do a little bit of, I think this is the $1 billion marketing research question. If you could answer this, you make yourself a mint. What makes people open an SMS? No, all right. I mean, for me personally, my stage of life, I've got aging parents, I've got a small child, I've got, commitments to the bank and various other organisations. So if I get a text, I'm going to look at my phone and check it pretty quickly. But if I'm 21 years old, living at home with mum and dad, communicating with my friends on Snapchat and other tools, WhatsApp, maybe I don't look at my SMSs so much. But what we did learn was that the people who open the SMSs started the video, watched it to the end, and majority of them also responded to the question as well. Okay. What we did have to do, or because we just wanted to leave it organic, because it was a trial of this new tool, as I said, and so we didn't want to tweak it too much. We tried different times of the day sending the message out. Okay. And we found really there's no one perfect time. You know, once again, I spoke to a mum with kids who said, oh, if you could send it after 7 o'clock at night when the kids are in bed, that'd be great, because that's when I check my phone. Yeah. Then another girl who was a uni student said, look, pretty much as soon as I finish my shift, I check my phone. So there was no right time. We worked out mid-morning kind of worked well, because people could look at it on their lunch break, and it was recent enough they wouldn't forget that they had to watch it. Yeah. So that was a challenge. And then towards the end, we actually sort of really started pushing through the other different communication channels through Petstock. Hey guys, if you haven't watched these videos, go back and watch them. And midway through, we actually just ran a random video one week, rewarding all the people who had watched unprovoked or unprompted, by sort of saying, hey guys, at the bottom under this video, you've got a multiple choice question. There's 5 different prizes. Select which prize you'd like to win. All you have to do is make sure you go back and watch all 5 videos if you haven't already by this date, and then you go in the draw to win. And there was a winner from each state. And we found that got a huge response. And of course, that then drove people to watch the following week's video, because they wanted to find out who the winners were, which we didn't tell them until the end of the video.
See what you did there.
Yeah.
Keep them hanging. Okay, so that kind of answers the question then around that, you know, how did you get them to open? And I think it's not in there, those kind of what they call in marketing like clickbait sort of, you know, open this to win a prize sort of thing. It was more of a groundswell, like it kind of built momentum as the weeks went on.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, obviously the other thing too was we were running this over 10 weeks. And so in retail, that's a very long time before a product drops into store. So as you would expect, sort of a week before the end of the program, products dropping into store, all of a sudden we see a big lift in people starting to watch the videos, because they're like, hey, what is this product? You know, and then somebody else would say, oh, you know, we got those text messages with the videos. So people were going back wanting to know. So that was another learning. If we were doing a product launch again, would we do a 10-week lead time? Probably not. Maybe, you know, a 5-week program where you do sort of 3 in the lead up, 1 the week of, and 1 sort of following up, just recapping. Here's my little cat again, just being a star. I feel like Dr. Evil.
My little boy he wants to keep getting into my videos. I think I've let him have his fingers in so far, but that's about it.
So that was another learning, is that we, you know, had the length. But as I said, part of it was a dual purpose project. One was to trial this VidCorp tool, and learn how to optimize it. And then the second was obviously the first was to launch this product into store, which has been successful, because in the first week of it being in store, they sold through 5 weeks worth of product. Wow. Like that's what 5 weeks ahead of forecast. So it's been really successful in terms of educating our team members so they're confident in selling it.
Yeah, well, that's actually the kind of ROI that you need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So in terms of the videos themselves, we've spoken about, like, you know, delivering and the engagement and those kind of things. The videos themselves, how did you produce those? Was that something you did in-house, or did you get somebody to come in and do that for you?
Yeah, we did them in-house. So the advice we got from VidCorp was, when you're launching a program like that, start off with a really sort of schmick official announcement video, which we did do with our CEO and MD of Petstock. And then from there, it was like, you know what, the more raw and authentic you can be, the better. So we pretty much mixed it up. We had a range of different presenters. We did film it on, I think it was an SLR camera, and we had someone from our marketing team who sort of knew about video editing and so on to help. But in terms of the concept, it was kind of like, right, what are we doing this week? There was one week they used Snapchat filters, because, you know, we got feedback from people. Yeah, it's interesting. It's informative, but pretty boring. So we just did a really stupid one with Snapchat filters, which people loved.
Okay.
Another week when we were talking about the ingredients, they went down to the South Melbourne market and shot it there. The problem there was background noise, but
Yes.
that's when we learnt the magic of subtitles, as you have learnt also, Karen.
Yes, and I'll be putting on when we finish this, I'll be uploading to YouTube to get my subtitles today because it's on Zoom. So I'm not on clips today. Yeah.
So it was pretty low-fi in terms of what we filmed, and one of the learnings was, I guess, just don't overthink it too much. Know what your key message is. Come up with a creative concept for presenting it, and just do it. And then if it doesn't work, just shoot it again, because it's so cheap and easy to do that now.
Well, and I think that, again, this is one of the big drivers behind this whole challenge was, we do spend a lot of time polishing things, and sometimes that's it's obviously appropriate. I get that. And, depends on your organization and lots of different factors. But I think we can do more. Like, there is so much we can do with this for learning quickly, cheaply, easily. But I think it comes down to, for me, the same thing across any piece of learning that you're going to create, whatever learning experience that is, whether you're curating something or whether you're creating something big, it comes down to the analysis and the design. Like, if you ask all the right questions and you know what it is you're trying to achieve, what the outcomes are going to be, how you're going to measure that at the end, and you have some good solid instructional design principles, whatever they might be, that are underlying all of that, then why can't you just take your camera and go shoot a video and then share it via SMS, and still have some great results? So I think I'm just trying to encourage people really to, I think it's a lot stepping out the comfort zone, but stepping out of our own personal comfort zones. I mean, in this challenge for me was getting my face on video and doing that kind of stuff. But I think as an industry, we need to step outside our comfort zone of, sometimes it doesn't have to be, we don't need to have a full plan and a budget and a production team and cast and scripts and all the things that we have stopped us from using video in the past, because it just makes it too darn expensive and time consuming to create. So I think that's what I really love about this particular project, is that you've just kind of got on and done it, and you're learning as you go. I mean, how are you getting feedback from people? Because I mean, you're sort of talking about, Snapchat filters and tweaking as you go. Like, what was there a formal process to that, or were you just chatting to people around the water cooler?
There was a couple of things. One was, each week we had a debrief meeting with the our VidCorp guys, where they would show us. We had all the recipients broken into 3 or 4 different cohorts. So there was store managers and store staff and so on. And we could see, they would report back and say, okay, this many, we sent it to this many people, this many were received, this many people opened it. Of those who opened it, this many watched the video, and then this many finished the video, etc. So each week, we sort of, as we progressed, we could see what our benchmarks were, and it was all about trying to beat the previous weeks. And we could see, when people weren't engaged in the content or weren't interested, because they weren't watching the video to the end, or they just weren't watching the videos full stop. And so that was one. But also I did an informal sort of ring around to a few different stores, and just whoever answered the phone, I was like, hey, have you received any texts from us lately? And just trying to get some insights into what they thought. And I think that the indicator's been, I just saw on LinkedIn this morning actually, that our the state manager from Petstock in New South Wales has started with his field teams doing their weekly updates through video. And this isn't even using VidCorp. So when we presented it to the field teams, most people were pretty excited about it. A few people were like, are you worried it's just going to end up like wallpaper, like any other sort of comms, like Yammer or whatever? And we said, look, the idea is you can't, I think you've got to be clever about how you use it. But the fact that they've gone off on their own bat, the retail operations team, they're creating their own training content as well, which I think is really exciting. It shows that they've gone, hang on, we can do this too.
We can do this.
And we talk about learner-driven content. It's fantastic. So our only challenge is also then to say to them, well, hey, get us to load them up on the training platform, so you've got a way of measuring how many people are actually viewing those videos, because I'm not quite sure how they're communicating them out to their teams at the moment. But to me, imitation's the highest form of flattery. So, you know, they've obviously seen the videos and gone, yeah, we can do this stuff. And they're doing it, which is great.
I think that is really awesome.
Mm.
Cool. Like, I think that's probably everything that I wanted to ask you to share with everybody. Is there anything else that you wanted to share about that project while we're...
I'm just having a little think. I guess the learnings, I've talked about a few of them. I sort of touched on this earlier, that when we worked out pretty quickly when filming, especially a video series, steal ideas from television. So leave big announcements or the wedding till the end of your program. You can have, you know, little bumps along the road to sort of get them a bit excited and interested as well, like we did with the sort of the competition video in the middle there. Give them regular recaps of what's happened before and what's coming, and use a bit of humour and suspense to keep them engaged. Awesome. Have fun with it, and it comes through.
Yeah, well, it's a really creative medium, isn't it? I mean, I think, and then for an industry full of creative people as we are, you know, to be able to have outlets like this to sort of be a little bit different and put something different out there is, you know, we should all be lapping that up, I think. Yeah,
keep it real, I think. I mean, that was probably the biggest thing. Be authentic. Authentically raw beats unnaturally staged, hands down.
It does, and I think that, and again, that some of that comes down to the polishing as well. I mean, you know, yes, we could have done this video. I could have been in a suit, and we could have, you know, locked your cat in the cupboard and things like that. But
I should have closed the door, Karen. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. But I mean, you know, I know this through having like delved quite a bit into marketing and digital marketing, in particular over the last couple of years, and certainly, you know, when I was first doing these videos, one of the things that freaked me out a little bit was that I always have to be, you know, have my video on and my video hair and whatever. And one of the things I noticed in, you know, the first couple of days was, you know what, nobody cares. Nobody cares. And to your point about, you know, the content that you were putting out, if the content's on point, that's really what people want to consume. What your hair looked like on the day, nobody gives a rat's. And, you know, although I might try a few different things for that, see how that goes. Okay, well, look, thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us, Megan. I hope that helps people. I'll tag you in these posts, because I'll put this onto LinkedIn and Twitter, so if anybody wants to contact you to find out more about that project and you know, if they're interested in going down that path themselves, they can, if that's okay.
Yes, and please make sure you tag this video with Crazy Cat videos, because, you know, now you can tap into all the people who love to watch Crazy Cat videos as well. Of which I am one. Okay, my cat doesn't play the piano, but she definitely disrupted this video.
I know a few Crazy Cat people in L&D that will be watching this. All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Megan. I appreciate you taking the time to chat to me.
Thanks, Karen. See you later.